Shabbat Shalom. I doubt many of my congregants would agree, but I've always been greatly moved by traditional duchening, the priestly blessing, the Birkat Kohanim, delivered by the descendants of the Kohanim, the ancient priesthood. This blessing, given on significant festivals and every Shabbat in Israel and every day in Yerushalayim, is amazingly evocative. After washing hands and feet, the Kohanim come out to the bima with their heads covered and arms outstretched and chant ancient words following the reader. For me, the ritual has a sense of antiquity and holiness. I feel peace as I close my eyes and experience the blessing. I even experience sadness and a sense of loss that I can't participate, though my mother is a Bat Kohen. It is unlike anything else we do in shul, and is the last remnant connecting us with our ancient temples. For me, it provides a mystical moment full of possibilities. Duchening is not without its opponents. Many people wonder why Judaism should preserve a tradition of holiness inherited in DNA, and only male DNA at that. Others question the need for an intermediary. We are all, as the Torah reminds us, a mamlechet Kohanim, a kingdom of priests. Why do we need the Kohanim, especially nearly 2,000 years after the destruction of the Second Temple? Others point to specific Kohanim, remembering their failings, and wonder why this particular person should have the honor of blessing the congregation. It is for these reasons that duchening has vanished from most, if not all, progressive synagogues. While the traditional model of reciting the Birkat Kohanim is controversial in progressive and even many Masorti congregations, the Threefold Blessing itself retains its power not only in Jewish but Christian communities as well. It is recited at life cycle events and ends nearly every progressive service in the United Kingdom, at least when I served a community there. I well remember the phrasing of my rabbi when I was young, as he blessed me at my bar mitzvah and confirmation. He recited not only the words, but also an extended commentary, which apparently was always the same, quietly to me as I stood under his outstretched arms. I too share this blessing at simchas, as I bless newborn children, newly minted adults, and happy newlywed couples. I stick to the words, yet I often think of the commentary of Rabbi Robinson. I have added to it over the years, but the last sentence included below is purely his. At first glance, the Threefold Blessing seems relatively simple and straightforward. May the Eternal bless you and keep you. May the Eternal's face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Eternal's countenance rest upon you and give you peace. Commentators note that the blessings build in effect. The first is for material well-being, the second for spiritual well-being, and the third is a blessing including both. Other commentators suggest that the third blessing asks God to preserve and bless us, whether deserved or not. I believe, learning from my rabbi, that there's a deeper meaning. Rather than being a blessings for prosperity, whether material or spiritual, they instead point to a path leading towards the divine, leading towards God. The first blessing offers us the opportunity to realize that God is present in our material world. It's a reminder to us that the hints of divinity are present everywhere. It teaches us that we are truly blessed when we begin to break the bonds that bind us to our possessions and instead, in all materiality, find God. This ascent leads to the second blessing, the blessing of God's presence. Here too, we find a blessing filled with a world of possibilities, but also a world of traps. When we open our mind to God's face, There's an infinitesimal moment of meeting, a brief moment when we experience the divine without any differing or definition or othering. Almost immediately, however, the divine becomes an it, a face which we define and concretize. We engage in philosophy and theology, and yet the blessing demands that we resist turning God into our own image. The blessing asks us to move onward and upward beyond all human conceptions. The third blessing offers us a possibility of the most authentic experience of the divine. We have broken the bonds of materiality, realizing that it is but a mask hiding the divine present, which is always present. We have even moved beyond our theologies and philosophies, realizing that they often take the inexplicable and attempt to place it within human terms and understanding. Now the third blessing points to the absolute, to a unity expressed through shalom, the last word of the Birkat Kohanim. Rabbi Robinson always ended this blessing with the words, not the peace only of this world, but rather the shalom of wholeness and unity, which is beyond all truth and beyond all existence. To Rabbi Robinson, a proud progressive Jew, God was the meaning and unity that filled all creation. Is this ultimate unity of all and all that exists that we seek as we are blessed and bless with the Birkat Kohanim. Shabbat Shalom.